On the 2nd of January, the Catholic Church honors Saint Basil, one of the most distinguished doctors of the Church and Bishop of Caesarea. Saint Basil the Great was likely born in the year 329 at Caesarea of Cappadocia. He was one of 10 children of Saint Basil the Elder and Saint Emilia. Several of his brothers and sisters are honored among the saints. He attended school in Caesarea as well as Constantinople and Athens, where he became acquainted with Saint Gregory Nazianzen in the year 352. A little later, he opened a school of oratory in Caesarea and practiced law. Eventually, he decided to become a monk and found a monastery in Pontus, which he directed for 5 years. He wrote a famous monastic rule, which has proved the most lasting of those in the East. After founding several other monasteries, he was ordained and in the year 370 made Bishop of Caesarea. In this post until his death in the year 379, he continued to be a man of vast learning and constant activity, genuine eloquence, and immense charity. This earned for him the title of Great during his life and Doctor of the Church after his death. He ranks after Athanasius as a defender of the Oriental Church against the heresies of the 4th century, especially Arianism, which denied the divine nature of Jesus Christ. He was a strong supporter of the Nicene Creed. With his friend Gregory of Nazianzen and his brother Gregory of Nyssa, he is part of the trio known as the Three Cappadocians, of which he was the most important in practical genius and theological writings. Basil resisted the pressure from Emperor Valens and Arian himself, who wanted to keep him in silence and admit the heretics to communion. No wonder, when the great Saint Athanasius died, the responsibility of being the defender of the faith against Arianism fell upon Basil. Basil was one of the giants of the early Church. He was responsible for the victory of the Nicene Orthodoxy over Arianism in the Byzantine East, and the denunciation of Arianism at the Council of Constantinople between the year 381 to 82 was in large measure due to his efforts. Basil fought simony, aided the victims of drought and famine, strove for a better clergy, insisted on a rigid clerical discipline, fearlessly denounced evil wherever he detected it, and excommunicated those involved in the widespread prostitution traffic in Cappadocia. He was learned, accomplished in statesmanship, a man of great personal holiness, and one of the great orators of Christianity. 72 years after his death, the Council of Chalcedon described him as the great Basil, minister of grace, who has expounded the truth to the whole earth. Having heard about the life of this great saint and doctor of the Church, let us place our petitions before him and all together say, Saint Basil the Great, pray for us.